What's up YouTube? Demi here with another Demi Splains. This one is going to be controversial, to say the least. So for those of you that don't know, Grinding Gear Games, as of about 6-7 hours ago, has announced that Tencent, the company that runs the Chinese servers for Path of Exile, has acquired a majority stake in Grinding Gear Games. What this means is they bought 80% of the company. Chris and company, they sold 80% of the game to Tencent. For those who don't know who Tencent is, they have a pretty huge amount of gaming companies, technology. I don't know, they're basically like the Chinese equivalent of Amazon, something like that, Tencent Games. They bought out League of Legends in 2011, I believe. Yeah, they bought out Riot Games in 2011 for $230 million. And they just invest a crapload back into the company and kind of just let the company do what it wants. They also own stuff like Unreal Tournament, Gears of War, Infinity Blade. Like, they own a lot of stuff along those lines, right? There's a lot of questions that have been asked about this. Chris has actually posted a frequently asked questions basically about this. They are remaining an independent company. There won't be any big changes how they operate, so will not affect development and operations in PoE, so we're prepared to answer some questions you may have. Why Tencent? It's one of the biggest companies in the world, largest game publishers in the world. They own League, Clash of Clans, and they have a strong reputation for respecting the design decisions of developers and studios that they invest in, allowing the company to operate and develop their games. Right? They've also been approached by a lot of other potential acquirers, but they felt like they didn't understand PoE. So Tencent is a bit different, right? As far as I can tell, with League of Legends, I mean, Tencent bought out League, and then they just let Riot Games continue doing exactly what they were doing. They just get a large portion of the profits, right? As long as your company and your game are good, they don't interfere with you that much, or if at all, right? Is Grinding Gear Games becoming part of Tencent? They're still an independently run company in New Zealand. All the developers still work for GGG. The founders are still running the company like they have been for the past 11 years. Going forward, they will have financial reporting obligations to Tencent, but this will have minimal impact on our philosophy and operations. So basically, they have to tell Tencent if they're making money and how much, but they don't have to do anything else. At least that's what they're saying, right? We don't have the full contract, the full agreement, whatever. Tencent will not try to change PoE. They've never tried to interfere with game design or operations. This is actually, they spoke to other CEOs of other companies that Tencent has bought in, right? And they've been assured that Tencent has never tried to interfere with game design or operations outside of China. So what that means is that the Chinese servers, which are already very different than the current international servers, like they have, for example, they have an auction house, they have a, if you die in hardcore, you can pay real money to resurrect. All of that stuff's been active for a long time now, and it's only in the Chinese server. So the games that the majority of us play on the international servers, they're going to be the same. Will PoE become pay to win? Nope. No changes to monetization on the international servers. Again, that's what I'm saying. The Chinese servers already have that stuff. Tencent makes a fuckload of money off of those servers. They don't really care about the rest of the world. In a percentage-based environment, the rest of the world's probably like 10-20% of the total, right? The majority of the money that they make comes from their stuff in the Chinese servers. And I'm sure they're going to get a portion of everything else, but like it's a little bit different. Will GGG prioritize the Chinese version of PoE? The Chinese version of PoE has its own releases a few weeks after the international version. We are working hard to reduce this gap so they come out closer together or simultaneously, but we're not planning to prioritize Chinese version of PoE ahead of the international version. We want to treat all of our customers equally without any of them being frustrated at missing features or delayed releases. They also have the Xbox version, which is always a little bit delayed as well, so same as that, right? Will the Chinese version get features ahead? No, probably not. We develop almost all features on the international version, but sometimes Tencent will request features that they want to try in the Chinese version that we don't plan to roll into international servers, such as the auction house. If those features turn out to be really good fit for both versions, it will port them into the international version. Will we need a Tencent account to log in? Nope, nothing changes there. What's next for GGG? A lot more. We've committed to our current release of 4 schedules per year. We have some really big plans for future expansions. If you like what we've done so far, you'll love what we're working on next, as well as multiple 3.0 expansions in through 2018-2019. We've just started development of 4.0, which is early 2020. That's 2 years away. So, what does this mean for us? Well, a lot of us know that, like, the shop, for example, they're called supporter packs because you support a small indie company. You give them a lot of money for some pixels, and it's not like... There's like very few games where you're gonna dump $500+ on something just to support the company, or for this amount of stuff. Like, no, that's not gonna happen, right? For me personally, I bought big supporter packs for the past couple years. I've spent probably, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000 on Path of Exile in the last 3 years, which sounds like a lot, but if you cut it down, that's like a couple dollars a day, right? It's not a big deal. So I would not have done that to such an extreme extent if I wasn't supporting a small company, right? Like, it feels like we have pretty personal relationships with the company. I mean, you could literally talk to Bex, the main community manager, you can talk to Chris on Reddit, you can talk to them as individual people, and you see enough of their interactions with the community that you kind of feel like you know them, right? That's not going to change. But the fact is that the company, Grinding Gear Games, is now monetarily and financially supported by a huge company in in China, right? Does it say how much they're worth? I don't remember. Operating income, $302 billion? No, $90.302 billion in 2017. Net income, 72.4. I can't read, apparently. Total assets is $554 billion. Like, they're a $500 billion company with 45,000 employees. There's 100 people working at Grinding Gear Games. 120 something, right? So, that's pretty huge. For me, to continue buying supporter packs, like, I'm basically going to have to see them drop in price immensely. A lot of the MTX in PoE is like $10, $20, $30 for a sword skin, or like a pet, or your eyes glow, or something along those lines. They're pretty fucking expensive for what you get. And a lot of us are willing to spend that money. Like, these wings cost $32. Like, that's insane. For one thing, right? Your character wears like 10 MTXs, so you might spend $300 on a full set of MTX for your character, not including the supporter packs, on top of everything else. And it's like, that's a lot of money. Going forward, I don't personally think I'm going to spend that much money on PoE. Like, that sounds harsh and aggressive, and it probably is. I mean, I want to know your thoughts on all of these things, if you guys have thoughts on this. But, like, that's just, it's a lot of money. And I don't know if as many players are going to support the company as hard because of that. Like, this game was initially funded off of the large supporter packs in closed beta and alpha, whatever, right? The giant $1,000 supporter packs, the Grandmaster packs, all of those things helped start the company, and it feels like they've been continuing to do that throughout this last, like, I don't know, 11 years or whatever. But at this point, they've been bought out. We don't know how much they sold it for. It's not public information yet. But, I mean, you gotta assume it's a lot of money. If they paid that much money for Riot, before Riot really exploded, I don't know. That's a lot of money. $230 million. I mean, Riot's bigger than PoE, right? So it's probably like, I don't know, I'm gonna hazard a guess, say it's $50 to $100 million. Split among the owners and the current members of the company, probably, or mostly just the owners. I don't know. That's a lot of money. And Tencent's gonna be funding the rest of the company for a long time now, so it's like, it just feels different. The small indie company meme is now like, it's not a reality anymore. The game is owned by a massive company. That being said, all of that aside, all of the scary stuff aside, I mean, if you look at League of Legends, since 2011, the game hasn't gotten worse. The community is toxic as hell, but we already have that in Path of Exile, so that's not going to get any worse. It's just that the good side of things is that Grinding Gear Games and Path of Exile are now going to have enough funding to do whatever the hell they need to do to make the next release better, right? They can hire more employees, they can get another office, they can hire like art directors and artists to make 3D art for uniques that haven't had 3D art for like 3, 4, 5, 6 years now. We don't want to talk about that, right? We might actually be able to import artists into New Zealand to get things done, which is like, that's awesome. Maybe we'll get new voice acting for acts 5 through 10 that's missing on a lot of the classes. Like, I don't know. I'm honestly, like, I'm probably 60-40 for this and against this. On one hand, there are real people that own GGG, right? Chris is a real person. He has a life. He has a family. He has a very large magic collection. Like, he needs money to survive. So does everybody else on PoE. So do I. If you want to support me, my Patreon and Twitch are linked in the description below this video. Shameless self-plug. That being said, they made a decision that they think is going to be good for the future of the game, and even though a lot of us are probably going to disagree with them, and there's going to be a huge amount of shitstorm in the comments of this video, and on Reddit, and on the forums, and on every stream from here on for the next probably 6 months to a year, maybe more, about this, I think overall it's gonna be fine. Like, I don't know if GGG was struggling monetarily before they made this decision, and they were like, alright, we'll either have to do something drastic or Peewee dies. Like, something along those lines. I doubt that was the case, but, I mean, you never know, right? They're not super transparent with us about where money goes. But yeah, I don't know, I don't think I'm that worried about it. I'm a little bit scared, and I'm very against these MTXs staying this expensive if they're gonna do that. But on the other side, we got a lot more money to develop the next expansions. We got a lot more employees probably coming and new companies, offices started. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. It's scary, but I mean, a lot of people freaked out about the Xbox releases as well, and that's turned out great. I get a lot of comments, a lot of people coming into stream saying they play this game on Xbox, and my videos have helped them learn. So I know that the audience grew when they got the Xbox as well. So this should hopefully, with the investing into it, like, make the company grow and the game grow, and all of us be able to continue playing the game and continue enjoying it and supporting it, whatever, right? So I think that's it for me. I want to know all of your opinions though. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm sure it's going to get pretty heated, so try to keep it civil among differing opinions. Like, that's probably going to be an issue, so try to keep it civil. For those of you that want to see more of me, all of my social media links, my Patreon, my Twitch, they're all in the description of this video. There's also a link to my sponsor, Humble Bundle. If you want to buy some games, I get a little bit of a commission. You can help feed me, which is nice. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy these type of videos. I will see you in the next one, and that'll be Demi out.